The unraveling of a family, the Duggar saga. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar Family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Duggar family, known for their reality television show 19 Kids and Counting, has long been a symbol of the all-American family. With their strict adherence to conservative Christian values, they presented an image of wholesome family life. However, this facade was shattered in the face of scandals, arrests, and controversies that emerged over the years. At the center of the storm was Josh Duggar, the eldest son of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. Despite his parents' efforts to maintain the family's pristine image, Josh's personal choices led to grave repercussions not just for him, but for the entire Duggar clan. In 2021, Josh Duggar was arrested on charges of receiving and possessing child pornography. The news rattled the fundamental foundations that the Duggar family had built over the years. Fans of the show were left in disbelief, and the family's reputation hung in the balance. While Jim Bob and Michelle attempted to manage the fallout, the cracks in their family dynamic began to show. Josh's trial and subsequent conviction were a media frenzy, spotlighting the often hidden struggles within the Duggar household. While they had always preached about accountability and righteousness, Josh's actions brought into question the veracity of their teachings. The family believed that a public apology and a distance from Josh could protect their image. However, the damage was done, and their once-cherished reputation began to erode. With Josh's conviction echoing in the background, another Duggar family member, Jim Bob, found himself facing a completely different set of charges: embezzlement. Allegations surfaced regarding missing funds from campaign donations while Jim Bob was a state representative in Arkansas. The amount? A staggering $380,000. The Duggar family's prior image of moral superiority now contrasted sharply with Jim Bob's growing legal troubles. Allegations claiming that funds meant for community development were funneled into personal accounts shocked many who had seen Jim Bob as a figure of righteousness. The irony was palpable. The patriarch, who had spent years preaching about financial responsibility, was now accused of committing financial betrayal. As the news broke about Jim Bob's alleged embezzlement, it became evident that the Duggar family's issues were more pervasive than anyone had imagined. This web of deception stretched from Josh's felonious activities to Jim Bob's financial misconduct, unraveling the image of the family as a spiritually grounded unit seeks to inspire faith and morality. The accusations of embezzlement revealed a structured approach to living life. Do as I say, not as I do. The Duggars had often spoken about the importance of integrity, but with these scandals coming to light, their teachings began to ring hollow. Many former fans turned their backs on the family, disillusioned by the hypocrisy. Amidst the growing media attention, Jim Bob's legal team prepared to fight against the embezzlement charges. This would not be just another courtroom drama. This was a battle for the family's legacy. The court hearings were highly publicized, with spectators showing up to witness the unraveling of one of America's most controversial families. Josh's sentencing was already a significant burden on the Duggars. Now, with Jim Bob also in the public eye, the family's lawyers found themselves juggling two high-profile cases simultaneously. As both father and son faced serious consequences for their actions, the family's close-knit nature was tested. The mounting pressures from the legal battles forced the Duggar family to confront rifts that had long been simmering beneath the surface. Several siblings, particularly Jill and Jinger Duggar, began to distance themselves from Jim Bob and Michelle. The discontent stemmed not only from the public scandals, but also from the family's authoritarian structure, which many viewed as damaging. These siblings began speaking out against their parents' restrictive ideologies and sought to forge their paths, independent of the overwhelming expectations of being a Duggar. Social media became a battleground for expressing dissent. Fans of the family watched as the facade of unity crumbled, replaced by whispers of betrayal and disappointment. As the family grappled with the fallout from these scandals, some members took a proactive approach to correct the narrative surrounding the Duggar name. They began participating in interviews and public appearances where they expressed their desire for healing and redemption. The message was clear. While they loved their family, they could no longer stand idly by while their parents' errors overshadowed the positive aspects of their upbringing. Jill Duggar, formerly a loyal supporter of her parents, became vocal about her struggles and disappointment over the way her parents had handled the scandals. The fallout also led several sisters and brothers to reconsider their involvement with the family's television brand. They recognized that the spotlight, once a source of pride, had become a double-edged sword. As time passed, the Duggar family began to accept that their lives would no longer be defined by their television show or their once unblemished reputation. Therapy, public discussions, and a focus on healing allowed many siblings to navigate their emotions surrounding their familial ties and personal identities. While Jim Bob continued to fight the embezzlement charges, Josh grappled with the consequences of his actions behind bars. The once rich narrative of a perfect family slowly transformed into one of introspection and coming to terms with reality. With the ongoing legal battles and family tensions, the future of the Duggar family was uncertain. Would they regain their former status, or had the scandals irreparably damaged their legacy? They had a choice: either retreat into the shadows or embrace their new identities, imperfections and all. Some family members chose to pursue paths outside of the Duggar brand altogether, finding work and opportunities that allowed them to define themselves separate from the controversies surrounding their upbringing. Meanwhile, Jim Bob and Michelle doubled down on their beliefs, clinging to their public persona, even as their family shifted. The Duggar family story is one of contradictions. Once hailed as the epitome of a traditional family, they now serve as a case study of the complexities of human nature, moralities, and the consequences of living under the public eye. As Jim Bob and Josh faced their legal battles, the family's narrative transformed from one of singular values to a multifaceted discussion about love, loyalty, and the importance of accountability. The path to healing remains long and arduous for the Duggars. Still, they have set out on journeys of self-discovery that may redefine their legacies, for better or worse, as they navigate a world forever changed by scandal. The tale of the Duggars serves as a reminder that behind every public persona lies a complex web of humanity, with all its flaws and virtues intertwined. They may have once inspired countless families with their story of faith, but as they face their reality, the lessons from the Duggar saga will undoubtedly linger in the hearts of their followers for years to come. The facade of perfection has been stripped away, leaving behind a raw, unvarnished truth that challenges preconceived notions of family, morality, and redemption.